Hey guys, well this is Clark's Crossing in Fairport, and you can hear the wind just whipping through here, and it's taking some of these trees with it.
Oh, I don't talk to the news media.
Why not?
Because I don't.
Okay, I've been trying to get in touch with you for months. Can we just talk about Angelica's Law for a second?
You can talk about Angelica's Law all you want to. I don't talk to news media.
But I kept asking questions.
Well, that Good Samaritan says he was just in the right place at the right time, and his instincts told him to stop. Stagnito was actually rolling on Facebook Live when he went to the yard for the first time. He told us it was because he didn't want to feel like he was alone. When a car came up behind it and started bumping it from behind. Now, you mentioned the person involved in this was an off-duty officer. Well, we know that it happened in Henpeck Park, and we were actually moved to this area because this scene was so large earlier. There were many, many investigators out trying to find this little girl. 2 years later, there's still not an answer as to who started this fire, but it is under investigation, and there's a $10,000 reward on the line.
So do you not want to save lives?
Dawn Nappy, a grieving mother, frustrated and at her wit's end, contacted us last year just after the 9-year anniversary of the crash that took her daughter Angelica's life.
I want answers as to what the problem is. Nobody seems to be giving me a direct answer.
So we reached out to the head of the Transportation Committee for comment, David Gant. Gant is an assemblyman. His district is in Rochester. But our calls went unanswered. We called his office phones and cell phone regularly for the next 6 months, but never heard back. So we took a trip to Albany for the first scheduled transportation meeting of 2018 and asked Assemblyman Gant in person to talk about Angelica's Law. The meeting was scheduled to start at 10:30. Assemblyman Gant arrived at 12:47, and when we finally got the chance to speak with him, he quickly declined.
Oh, I don't talk to the news media.
Why not?
Because I don't.
Okay, I've been trying to get in touch with you for months. Can we just talk about Angelica's Law for a second?
You can talk about Angelica's Law all you want to. I don't talk to news media.
But I kept asking questions, and Assemblyman Gant eventually told me Angelica's Law wasn't at all stalled in his committee.
Why don't you go check your information?
But it's stalled right now.
Pardon?
It's stalled.
It's stalled. It's not stalled. We're going to have this is our first meeting.
It's stalled.
Where you come from?
Assemblyman Dean Murray, who is in favor of passing Angelica's Law, says he's tried everything to get Assemblyman Gant to answer the same questions we've been asking to no avail.
I actually amended the bill and gave his office a copy of the amended version based on what I thought might be his objections, because he hasn't made clear what his objections are.
And he had a response to Assemblyman Gant's claims that Angelica's Law isn't at all stalled.
Here's what I'm saying to him. I'm putting in paperwork to get it on the agenda. When it comes up on the agenda, then I'm urging you to let it through. Let it go to the next level. But he has yet to do that.
Nappy traveled to Albany last week to confront Gant about the bill, and we saw it play out in front of our cameras.
Yeah, maybe it has to happen to one of your own for you to do something about it.
One of who own?
One of your own loved ones.
What does that mean? That sounds racial.
No, it isn't. Maybe one of your loved ones has to be affected.
But Nappy says it isn't about Angelica at this point. No, it's much bigger.
I'm not fighting this fight for 10 years for my daughter. It's too late for her. It's for other people.
A fight she says she won't stop until the law changes.
It's not about playing politics. It's about saving people's lives.
For 5 months, he couldn't do it. Rocco Stagnito wasn't ready to see the backyard on Evergreen Street where his son took his last breath.
Apparently he was here with somebody else, and they had done drugs. When they got here, he was no pulse, no heartbeat, and they had no idea how long he was down for.
Stagnito's son Tony had been battling a heroin addiction for 10 years and shot up one last time here with a friend on October 12th, 2016. He was just 27 years old. The house is abandoned and boarded up. Needles litter the backyard. It's in a neighborhood that's overrun by heroin use, a problem so bad the city is teaming up with police and residents to address it. Stagnito says he's been his own tireless advocate. He's made T-shirts with anti-drug slogans.
You know, I just sell shirts for what it costs me just to get them out there, because the way I look at it, you know, the first thing is solving anything is talking about it. You know what I mean? And I give people kind of humorous ways or upset, mad ways to express how they feel about drug addiction.
And he started carrying Narcan around, a drug used to help stop a drug overdose. But it wasn't until Wednesday, when he stepped into that backyard for the first time, that his advocacy kicked into even higher gear.
There's hundreds and hundreds of baggies right here.
He says immediately he called the city for help.
We're organizing a cleanup thing. They're going to provide us with sharps containers, you know, safe stuff.
And Stagnito left his last Narcan kit out for anyone who might need it with a note.
In memory of Anthony Rocco Stagnito, get help. Rest in peace. I know I'll never have a normal life again, but if I could use that to try and help anybody, help one person, help one parent from having to go through what we're going through.
Annette Johnson has 7 grandchildren.
Kendrick is 3, Jessica is 7, then Jolena is 10, and Jamar is 9.
But they aren't just visiting. Johnson is raising them after a drug overdose took their mom's life last Friday.
She was struggling with a heroin addiction. We've been trying to deal with it.
Trying while wondering where the kids were going to sleep.
Yeah, they got some beds, but we don't have, enough for everybody.
And where the next meal was going to come from. She wondered until strangers stepped in.
They got us, the kids, snacks, chips, all this stuff. And I'm like, thank you, Jesus, because I did not know what I was going to fix my kids today.
It started when a neighbor ran into Annette and learned of her story. The neighbor contacted Becky Baker with the group's SOARS, Substance Overdose Awareness Recovery, and Baker got to work.
I just put it out there, and I said I was just going to meet with the grandmother today.
And after posting, donations started pouring in.
I've already, 4 people offered to donate beds and bedding.
Baker says furniture, beds, and clothes are all going to be given to the family soon. Johnson says she's beyond grateful.
When they came and told me people wanted to donate, I was just amazed.
Because she isn't sure where they would be without the help.
Struggling. We'd be struggling.